We are going to talk master numbers, but specifically the master number 11. 11 gets a lot of hype, as it should. It's a very powerful frequency and vibration. One of the things that I always say when we are working with master numbers, it is imperative that you understand the base frequency of that number. And by understand it, you're aware of it. So the base frequency of a master number is the sum total reduced to a single digit. In the case of the 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So when we work with the energy of the 11, we are operating from the energy of the 2. You're integrating the energy of the 2, and I'm going to review the 2 in order to access the higher frequency of the 11. With the energy of the 2, we are always responding to, reacting to, and correlating with energies inside of us and outside of us. And that's what you're thinking about when you think about the 2. And naturally, the 2 is about balance. It's about balance and harmony, much like the energy of Libra, the scales. And what's interesting about Libra, the scales, and the number 2 is it's very much about equilibrium. And equilibrium is like walking a tightrope because for a moment, you may feel balanced and in your center and on time and in the right place and in the flow. And then next thing you're out of whack, out of balance. But it's the awareness of that balance or imbalance that brings you more into a resonance or a harmonization. And the 2 ultimately is about cohesion, balance, harmony, resonance, cohesion, because there's an ebb and a flow, a give and a take, an out and an in, an up and a down. It is yin and yang. It's very acute, yet it's infinite. The funny thing about the 11 is the minute you get it, you don't get it. It's paradoxical. And it's like if we think about paradox, surrender to win, give it away to get it, um, die to be reborn. It is very alchemical in nature. So it's fine tuned, yet it's infinite, right? Like the moment you go to conceptualize that, it's like you lose it or you don't have it, but it's a knowing. So that's that balance is that point, that acute point of awareness that is also infinite. And when I talk about aha moments or like, oh my gosh, it makes sense, or oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened, or that's it. That right there, that point is that expanded consciousness that is also wildly present and acute. That's the energy of the 11. And what I think about with the 11 is it is a call to action. So many people will reach out and say, "Oh, I saw 1111," or they'll say other numbers, and other numbers have codes and energies and frequencies and meanings, of course. But I keep seeing 1111s, or I keep seeing this. What does it mean? What does it mean? And I'm always like, get away from the meaning. It's the acute awareness and call to action that you noticed that number. It's just the awareness. It is snapping you into your presence in a very acute, attentive way. And rather than needing to know exactly what it means and how to interpret it, it's more an energy and yes, a feeling, but it is a high frequency vibration of acute attunement. You are being called into the present moment in an instant that is infinite. Again, being paradoxical, but it's a feeling, a knowing, a resonance. With the 11, to me, it is a call to action. And rather than looking for 11s, I want you to recognize when you're resonating with the vibration of 11, because looking for 11s, that's kindergarten, right? That is literally like level 1. We got that. Check, box checked, 11, 11. And hey, I'm not taking your magic away from that. Every time you see 11 or 11s or repeating digits, I want you to go crazy, get excited. But also remember that's kindergarten stuff, okay? That's just the initial, like, the basics, the ABCs, call to action. This is a more advanced level of integrating with the actual frequency of the 11, which is more fine-tuned, will heighten your intuition, help you with your personal and spiritual development. A key component to the 11 is inspiration. It just feels inspired, original, eureka. There is something unique about the insight, the download, the awareness, the frequency that is acute, original, and inspired. And it is what we do with the information and the wisdom that we tap into where we solidify the vibration into our frequency. So to me, it's I may receive this wisdom, this insight, this knowledge, inspiration, but Amanda, are you going to put your money where your mouth is? This is where the rubber meets the road. Where do you take action? And it's very layered in the action because the energy of the 11 isn't always, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing and inspiring." It's just a very clear, direct call to action. It doesn't always feel like, "Ah, eureka, I got it." Sometimes it's, "Oh my gosh, Amanda, you're being really judgy. What is this judginess about? What has this person done to you? Why can't you just be here?" So sometimes that acute awareness is not always bliss, ecstasy, infinite wisdom. Sometimes it is snapping you into a lower frequency field to basically see, are you going to stay there? But in thinking about working with the master number 11, what are people reflecting back to you this week? Start taking notes. And rather than getting caught up in the minutia of what they need you to do or what is on your plate, how is this making you feel? What is it bringing up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you frustrated? Are you delighted? And is everything easy this week? Oftentimes, we don't notice when things are easy. It's easier to notice, quote unquote, it's easier to notice when things are hard or frustrated or annoying or stuffy or stuck or irritable or limiting. That is 3D. But the higher dimensions ask us to notice what is easy, what clicks, what happened without you asking. Know that the 11 takes a little bit of muscle and it takes some fortitude and a willingness to get honest about yourself, your side of the street, your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And if they are in an uplifted high frequency state, or if you are in fear and judgment, worry, doubt, and so forth. And then if you are in those states, if I am in those states, okay, let's reconcile this. Let's discern it so I can shift and alchemize into bringing in and being available for those higher vibrational frequencies. The 11 is fluid. I am open and receptive to change. Change comes easily, change comes naturally because the energy of the two is not stagnant. It is ebb and flow, and finding that middle way, which is very Buddhist, right? The middle way. Finding that beautiful, beautiful rhythm and balance, it's a frequency, but it's a practice and it's an action. So see how you can incorporate it. And my goodness, recognize the gifts that you bring of just being willing and cognizant and aware enough to want to do this stuff and be curious about it. That in and of itself is the energy of the 11 is I'm curious. I want to grow. There's something curious and otherworldly that sometimes feels like you get it, but you don't get it. But it's like, but I'm here, I'm showing up. Okay, I'm not going to do this perfectly because it's not about perfection. It is about growth. It's about becoming. So, what are you becoming in the months ahead? I encourage you to tap into the vibration of the 11 and start to recognize in your relationships and in the material world what the universe is bringing in for you to integrate.